What's up guys? Today I'm going to be taking you through a pedalboard build I'm doing, which is going to integrate the HX Stomp. I'm using it as an amp and cab simulation platform mostly, but also with effects. A little bit about the board here, some considerations we have. This is a board that was built by my dad, sized to fit underneath an airplane seat, so this is going to be my travel board for ship gigs and other things. First off, on the side here, we have the guitar input on the bottom. That's where my guitar enters the entire rig. Right above it we have a headphone output, so if I want to practice without an amp, I can just plug headphones in there. It's a stereo output. The entire thing is powered by the Voodoo Lab's 4x4 here in the back. Also split to the power, we have a single IEC jack with an on-off switch. Split in the power is an extra plug that my dad soldered in there for the HX Stomp power supply, which I'll be velcroing to the inside. Then we have stereo output, and I'll talk a little bit about how I'm going to be splitting everything and using this for a mono rig, for a stereo rig, for a wet-dry rig, or any situation that I might have. And I'll explain that in some further videos, but today I'm just going to be building the board. So let's look at the pedals I'm going to be using. Obviously the HX Stomp, which is going to be the backbone for this rig. A new one for me, this is the Expression pedal by Boss. It's the EV30, it's a new one. It's a really nice size, and it's going to fit on the board well, and I'm going to use this mostly for volume control, although if I want to switch blocks and use this for anything else, I have that ability. I have a new pedal built by Saturnworks here. This is just basically an extra foot switch that I can use to toggle between the functions of this Expression pedal. On the bottom we'll have a global tap tempo for all my delay and chorus time related effects. For my delays and reverbs we have the Empress Echosystem and the Reverb, which I've been using for a few months now. The amp simulations I'm using on the HX Stomp are set clean, and for overdrive I'll be using the Dual Fusion by Wampler, as well as the SP Compressor by Xotic. Not a drive pedal obviously, but when you put your compressor in front of a drive pedal, it changes everything. And lastly, we're going to have what I'm going to refer to as the wildcard slot. So today, the Bliss Audio Warped Vinyl is going to go in there, although I might switch it out for the Electro Harmonix Freeze or the Electro Harmonix Pitchfork at any given time, depending on what the gig is. So a couple of these pedals are new for me. I use Strenko Velcro. It's not labeled as Velcro anywhere on it because Velcro is actually a brand, kind of like ping pong is a brand of the sport table tennis, but everyone just refers to it as ping pong. Same thing with this here. This is you can find this on Amazon anyway. I'll leave a link down below. So first up, the Saturnworks. I use the soft side Velcro on the top of my board. That way, if it ever gets full of dust or anything, I can just suck it off with a vacuum cleaner or a lint roller of some sort. Next is my new Expression pedal, and actually with all Boss products that have feet or a rubber bottom on the back, they all come off very easily. Even the normal Boss pedals, this rubber is actually made to come off, so if you apply Velcro to it, you can do that. I just keep the Velcro right on the rubber in case I ever decide to take the Velcro off, then the rubber won't have a problem sticking. When you're applying Velcro to a big pedal like this, it's important that you don't cover the entire bottom with the Velcro, otherwise you're never going to get the pedal off. I'm probably just going to use 3 strips total here. In this next part, I like to lay down the pedals and kind of create a fake layout so I know where everything's going to go when I finally wire it up. Make sure I have enough room in between the pedals for the jacks here, and also the power connections, and I gotta leave room for this USB port so I can get to that. I kind of have an idea already laid out in my mind, and so I don't have to be ripping it off the Velcro constantly. I lay down a piece of paper or a folder like this, and I'll show you what I'm kind of thinking right now. Normally it would take me a lot longer than that to come out with the layout, but I've already decided this before I started shooting the video so I could save time. We've got plenty of room all around for all the jacks here. Not plenty of room, but just barely, so it'll work out. And going along with the tight spacing of all the pedals, one of the most essential points here is to have very low profile cables. I use EBS Flats, which are sold exclusively by Sweetwater. I'll leave a link down in the description. And they come in many different lengths here. These are the long ones. They're measured in centimeters. I think they're 58 centimeters, but that doesn't mean anything to me. Some shorter lengths, something kind of in the middle here. They also have different configurations like this stereo, and then it splits into 2 cables. So I'll need this for the effects send out of the helix. They also make regular stereo to stereo plugs. You can tell that they're stereo because they have 3 parts here, tip, ring, and sleeve. and I'll need this for going from the headphone out on the Helix to the output on the pedal board for the headphones. For power, I'm just using the regular ones that come with Voodoo Labs, but EBS has also started making low-profile power plugs, so if you're really tight, then you can get those. At this point, I've got everything laid out, so I'm going to put the pedals on the pedal board for real this time and kind of work through backwards, making sure that all the plugs are going in the right location, working slowly, and I usually start with the audio and then I go to the power after that. So as long as I've done everything correctly, it should work. I'm going to plug it in and we'll test it out. First thing we'll do is plug in the audio lines. So we have stereo going through into my speakers here that I have on my desktop. So I should be able to tell and make sure that they're both coming through correctly. I got the power wired up. Give it a start up. Okay. So the Helix takes much longer than the rest of the pedals to start up, but it sounds like it's coming through. Volume's working. Tap tempo's working. And you can see that it's transmitting to the chorus pedal as well. That's awesome. So the next step is to get everything tidied up. I'll show you how I do that. Addressing all of the loose wires in the bottom here is what I'm going to do next. I generally try and keep everything neat and in a single line, so if something goes wrong, I can see where the wire is coming from, where it's going to, and I can hopefully fix it with as little stress as possible. This is a mess right now, but I use, these are pretty much just bread ties. I don't know what you call them in the country you're from, but just a little piece of wire with plastic around it. that you get at the grocery store. The cleaner you can make everything in here and the more you can tie it off, the less likely you have something inside to shift around and over time create a bad connection or come out of the power bank here. So in summation, I have the input here on the bottom running straight to the compressor, from the compressor to channel 1 of the Dual Fusion, which is the Euphoria drive. Then from channel 1 that runs into channel 2. You can move these back and forth if you like, but I like it channel 1 into 2. And then from there into the Warped Vinyl by Chase Bliss, into the input of the Helix, which I'm controlling with the expression pedal over here and the extra foot switch there. Eventually, the tap tempo is running through the Echosystem and through the Warped Vinyl. And then out of the HX Stomp, we go through the effects loop to first the Echosystem here, and then second to the reverb. It passes back in to the HX Stomp where it's still in stereo, and then out of the output here it runs to the side where I've got my 2 outputs finally. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, if you learned something or you found it interesting, make sure you hit the like and the subscribe down below. And to finish off the pedal board, it wouldn't be complete without the finishing touch here. Anyway, stay tuned for more Helix HX Stomp videos in the future, including detailed ideas on how you can use this pedal in different ways, how I'm using it. And this weekend I have a couple festivals coming up that we're doing some video and audio recording from. So you'll be able to hear it in action and see how it works, and I'm going to take you through that as well. So stay tuned, I'll see you next time.